Personal and selfish reasons is why we as Africans don't really. My mindset has always been whatever that I'm doing has been done before. History guides my path.
Do you think you understand the vision of your father enough?
I do. It all boils down to you, the individual. What do you want for yourself? I can decide to chart a new path or make sure that the path that I'm on now, I make it great.
Kwadwo Safo Jr., the dynamic CEO of the Kantanka Group, has significantly advanced his father's legacy by spearheading innovations in automobiles, electronics, and sustainable agriculture. Under his leadership, the company has produced locally sourced vehicles and appliances tailored for the African market. Recognized for his entrepreneurial excellence and technological innovations, Kwadwo is also committed to environmental sustainability and community development through initiatives in mining and farming. His visionary approach has earned him numerous accolades, establishing him as a leading figure in Ghana's industrial and economic growth.
Why were you the only person that had the burning desire? Weren't there other people in the family?
I don't think anybody is capable than I am in. One thing I've learned in life is as you grow, your brain can be sharp, but what pushes you and I will not push our fathers.
There are conversations around the brand itself and how people think that it is not ready for the international market. What do you think of that?
What people need to understand is, as a businessman,
when you talk about the automobile industry in Ghana and many parts of West Africa, the man I'm speaking to today is the CEO of Kantanka Group. Now, there's a lot of things that the family has done, and he happens to be the one championing it at the moment. Why do I think you should stick with me and listen to this conversation? Because you're going to learn firsthand from someone who's been handed over generations of wealth to manage, and then also how he is taking a turn in that business. If you don't have time to spare 1 hour or an hour and a half with us, I don't think you're ready to make that change and that leap that to change your mindset. Stick with me on Connected Minds. My name is Derek Abaite. You're welcome.
thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great. I feel like you're interviewing me. But I'm doing fantastic. Let me throw this out there. I love to do this, right? I appreciate you coming all the way from your palace to my little studio. I think after this conversation, I need to go and sleep and reflect. In fact, meditate on what's happened today. I would have never thought that the man I used to watch programs that he's supported and produced, and my parents has watched on TV's son will be in my house. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the curve that we know, or the curve called life. I mean, as you climb, you meet people, and if you arrange yourself or you package or you, have a very good branding, you can attract really quality or mind-blowing people as a guest on your show.
Yeah.
So probably, that is what has gotten me all the way here.
Yeah.
To your little palace as well.
Yeah, a little palace. I appreciate it. I really do. So I usually like the conversation to be different from what you've had in the past, because I believe that for the people who would see your thumbnail and then click on it, they already know you. They want to know what you're saying different on Connected Minds. But then my first question would be, and, I'm trying very hard so that, we stick to the conversation of automobile.
Let's go.
Because a lot of the time, I think there are too many things that may not be called for in a conversation.
This is an all-access granted.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You heard it. No. So let's take it from the dreams you had when you were growing up, you as an individual. What did you want to become?
I wanted to be a military officer.
Okay.
That was what I wanted to do. Growing up, I was really athletic. I don't know how to play football. I mean, as they call it soccer. I don't know how to play it, but I was really good in martial arts, boxing, running, jumping, and all kinds of things. So growing up, I wanted to be in the military, find a way. I heard people saying, you serve your country, serve your country. That was how I felt I could also serve. I mean, I felt I had all that natural strength, and what am I going to do with it? I mean, that was before I realized, or I got to know that I could channel whatever aggression or whatever strength differently into something else instead of what I really wanted to do. So, I mean, it was all about being a lawyer and a military person. That was what I wanted to do growing up.
That's interesting. But I mean, to what age though? Like, how far back was it in your life that you were thinking of being
in the military?
Yeah.
I mean, till I was 12. Yeah, till I was 12. And it all changed one day. Then we went for a program and a lot of dignitaries came and people kept asking this question. So, Apostle, that's when you are, why in the war, when you're no more, who's going to take after you? My father has a lot of kids. I mean, we are 7 and I'm the 5th born. And I mean, I was in no position to even think that I would want to take over from him. But there was something that kept on ringing in me, something that kept on speaking to me, something that kept on telling me, it is you, it is you, it is you. I mean, it's been there in my lowest moments in life, in my highest, whatever or however that I find myself in. That voice still speaks to me. And that was how come I made sure that everything that he does or everything that he's into, I make it my priority to either study and know more or be the go-to guy for that thing.
If I take you back to the times where you wanted to go into the military, many people would have said, well, that's your dream. That's what you want to become. But so why didn't you say, nah, I don't want to be the one. I want to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
What is it about that made you not want to be quote unquote rebellious?
My father has his ways, putting people in place. He doesn't come with canes or shouting or hitting you or anything, no. But he has his ways. He sets all the possible paths right in front of you. So it's up to you to decide, okay, I want to do this. This is going to help me. I want to do that. It got to a point, if I look left, right, up, down, south, north, east, west, whatever, wherever that I look, only thing that I see is what I'm doing now. So, I was like, why do I have to? The military thing was to get away from all that I was seeing.
Right.
I knew I would get to this point where there's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of, I don't know how to say it. So much pressure, so much people looking up to you. People want to, the expectations are going to be crazy as it is now. So the military thing was my own escape zone that I wanted to, let me just move away from this. Because I felt, look at what he's done. Look at the things that he's been able to do, to achieve from nothing. And how many great people normally have great kids after they are no more. That is something that was really burning inside me. So at a very young age, I was always stressed up. Because I kept thinking, okay, in case he's no more today, and I'm being given the mantle, am I sure that I can be able to do this? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
I'm with you.
Looking at him and how people see him, and his name opens so many doors for me, so much doors, and that fear, that I don't know, it was supposed to motivate me, but it kept making me feel, can I really do this? Can I really do this? Okay, so I kept thinking that, okay, if he's in the tech world, he's doing cars, he's doing this, what can I also bring to the table? Then I realized something, that aside knowing or understanding tech, doing tech with him, I realized that I was really good with figures.
Okay.
How to turn the whole genius that he is, how to commercialize whatever that he's been able to do research. I mean, how to bring the whole R&D to the commercial space. That's when I realized that I'm good with that. So I just made sure that, okay, if this is going to set me apart from my father, I'm going to make sure that I keep the business side of it booming, aside all the R&D stuff that we do.
But why you? Why were you the only person that had the burning desire? Weren't there other people in the family that you may have thought, okay, I think this senior brother or this junior brother or this sister is potentially more capable than I am?
So that's the thing with me. I don't think anybody is capable than I am in anything that I do in this world.
Okay.
It's my mindset. It might not be true, but that is what motivates me. That is what keeps me going. So if I see, okay, let's say Diabete wants to do this camera work. Why is he able to do this camera work? I feel I'm special. I should be able to do it better than he.
Okay.
Yeah, so I find ways and means to acquire the skill and better the skill. Then come up with something that you don't even know about. Freestyle a certain skill that would be hard for someone to copy or something. So, it's always about, I'm already coming from pressure.
Okay.
The pressure being my father. Then I had a sister that did law. She became the youngest lawyer in Ghana. I was like, why is she able to do this? I should be able to do better. So it's always about looking at what is taking it, owning it for myself and making it better. So, that burning desire, probably my other siblings, the guys, the girls, they had it. But it's how hungry you are. How bad do you want it? At what point are you willing to go to? How many times are you willing to take a hit and get back up?
And then, when we talk about generational wealth, in recent times, Black businesses have not been the best at maintaining family businesses for generations.
There's a problem.
And Peter Leach, who is one of the specialists in family enterprises, has said in one of his books that most African, businesses can't survive beyond third generation. You sit here in this chair and you are sitting in an even bigger chair, right? Of living up to the quote unquote, the dreams and the aspirations of your father.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the generations to come?
I would want to speak about why normally after the third generation, it doesn't survive. You see, there's always a problem with transition. If it's done early, it helps. If it's done later, there's always chaos. Now, people spend time with the chaos bit. People's families spend time with the whole, why is it not with this person? We spend time doing that. Whilst there is a legacy to be protected, there's a legacy to be grown. So during that time that we're spending fighting around amongst each other, and the worst case is when you have a family where there are different mothers. That is where the problem is. Because everyone is supporting a child to be at a certain point where they feel they will be comfortable. Do you understand? Personal and selfish reasons is why we as Africans, or we African empires or kingdoms, don't really exceed the point where we normally feel, this company has this prospect to get to this level, but it normally doesn't get to that level. The reason is the internal fighting, the internal issues.
You think our culture is too strong?
The culture is really strong. And I mean, I remember in school we did this debate that has culture really helped us as a country, or has it really taken us aback? Both.
Okay.
I mean, in all situations, there are extremists. There are people who accept, okay, this is our culture. There are people, I mean, you cannot tell me it's all people that are in the Islamic religion that are suicidal, or they are into suicide bombing and all that. No. But there are still certain part of people, or certain part of that religion, or any religion in the world, that people always, in anything that we accept, culture, religion, there are always people that mofa amanebroso.
Right.
They are extremists. I mean, this is supposed to be done this way, and they don't see any way in and out of it. I mean, if it's A, it should be A. But at times, you can twist things, you can go around things and still get it done. And that is the problem. I mean, most of the visionaries, or the people who set out to do great things, are supposed to impact these things to the next generation whilst they are alive.
And strong enough.
Yes. To still see that this is what I wanted to do. This is what I want to do. I've given it to this person. I'm going to guide this person to reach that destination.
That being said, do you think you understand the vision of your father enough?
I do.
Okay.
You see, I wouldn't be here if I don't. There's been so many opportunities that has come my way. I mean, growing up with the kind of skill or expertise that I acquired growing up from school. But the thing is, I can decide to chart a new path, or make sure that the path that I'm on now, I make it great. I'll spend years getting to where he has gotten to, whilst I could have spent less perfecting what he's done.
I mean, this is really interesting, because we also see a lot of people whose families have done great works, and they squandered it. They messed up everything, right? Yeah, they squandered it, right? They messed up everything. They couldn't actually make it happen. So I'm just sitting here thinking, what sort of training did you have to want to do this? Because it's a big task, and it takes a certain level of mental fortitude
and maturity
to be entrepreneurial, and even more so to walk into another vision and to try to make it your own.
The fathers were born in a whole different era from where we were born. I mean, we're more of computer age kids. And now there's another one they call it Gen.
The Gen Zs,
Gen Z.
Right? The Gen Zs. And then
it all boils down to you, the individual. What do you want for yourself?
Okay.
I want to be remembered for this. I want to be remembered for... I mean, if you look at me and you see people following me, normally you might think, oh, they're just people following. No, I have this thing. I want to build value around me. Imagine coming to me and seeing my secretary being a master's holder, or let's say a PhD holder. A PhD holder as my secretary. I want to build so much value around me. I want to build leaders. It is the only way for whatever that I want to do to materialize, to manifest well. I mean, if I want to go somewhere and speak to someone, and you get a doctor or a PhD holder coming up to you with his own car, lives in his own house, he's set up well in life. This person comes to you and tells you, oh, I'm representing Mr. Safo. I am his executive assistant, this. How do you think you're going to see me?
A whole different level.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I want to do this right, I want to do it well, I need people with age on their side, one. I need people that are hungry. I mean, it's all about hunger. I need people that don't dwell 100% in spirituality. It is there, yes. I mean, no one can take it away from us that there isn't life after death. There isn't hell, there isn't heaven, there isn't a God. He is there. But the question is, what does spirituality do for you? How does it enhance whatever that you are doing at work? Probably, all these things are done spiritually, then it manifests in real life. But as we sit here, if they tell you that will you see the person?
No.
But you see me.
Yes.
So if someone tells you someone's going to hit you something behind your back, you don't know. But you can see me bringing a club or maybe a knife to harm you. So you have to focus on who you see, what you see.
That's tough.
Yeah. You go to, I keep saying this, and I know I get a lot of people bashing me over it. I keep saying that Christianity has really not helped us as a country. You get a lot of people going to church. Even when someone is sick, the first point of contact should be the hospital. Now, the first point of contact for most people who are religiously, deeply inclined, they will go straight to the pastor. Pastor, I have this problem, I have that problem, I have that problem. Let's try all hands. If it doesn't work physically,
then we start thinking spiritually.
Yes.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yes.
Makes
so,
sense.
my mindset has always been whatever that I'm doing has been done before.
Okay.
Great people have lived before. They've got kids. Where are they? What did they do? What impact were they able to make? History guides my path. Yeah.
Before I throw this question away, what plans are you putting in place to make sure that you can also hand over peacefully?
So as I said, I realized growing up that teamwork is the most important thing. If you have a great team, imagine building a house. This beautiful place you've got here. There's no way a carpenter wasn't part of it. There's no way a steel bender wasn't part of it. There's no way a mason wasn't part of it. The architect that drew the building or did the plan is there, but there still has to be a foreman on ground. You are the foreman as a human being. Now, if I understand the building that I've seen or the plan, I need to acquire people that can help me build it. Two things. Either I go in for the expensive quality out there, or I give myself about 5 to 10 years and train people with that same quality and skill.
Okay.
So I have understood that this is where I want to get to. This is where I want to carry the whole vision to in the next 10 years. I need help. So if I have acquired that common sense and I've acquired the people to work with now and give them certain tasks. The people that work with me, they don't know. But every single day, I put you on a test. Every single day. So when you're working with me, you're always on your toes. Yeah.
You mentioned about teamwork, the people you want to work with and hand over and things like that. But in one of your interviews, you mentioned that since, the whole Kantanka, group is a family-owned business, especially the automobile side, you don't want to scale up too quickly. Because if you scale up too quickly and the demand comes in, then you might be stretched in terms of finances to, assemble a lot of vehicles to export, other African countries or even the West. That being said, are you trying to keep the business family-owned forever? Would you ever get to the stage where, in fact, let that be the first question, because I've got a second one.
Okay. So, if I understand you very well, the plan is to make sure that, okay, so we have a plant that, produces about 3 to 4 cars a day. Yeah. What we do and how we do it we are at a point where we've hit the climax. The only way to grow from where we are is a proper, understood public-private partnership with government. The only entity, the only outfit, or the only one, or the only group that can help Kantanka where we are now are two things. Either having a very good bank that understands the day-to-day business of an automobile company, or having the push from government. Now, the push in this sense, we don't need you to bring me money.
Okay.
But we need you to be able to speak with the financial institutions to grant me an LC where I can acquire, let's say, 500 to 1,000 cars at a go. The more I buy them in bits, it's really expensive. And with the current exchange rate, you're not making anything on what you sell. So you're selling cars, people are seeing the cars in town, but we are being hit harshly with the exchange rate. Now, if we do a lot of advertisement and someone comes in today, we need about 400 cars. Another person comes, we need 100, we need 200. How are we going to produce for the person? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I certainly do.
And all we need is, a policy that works, not a policy that stays in books, like what we see. All these automobile policies they've enacted and all, what they should do or what government needs to do now, that is what all these African countries that are into automobile are doing, especially Nigeria, Rwanda, South Africa, that I know, and Kenya. If they want to grow, or if they want us, or they want to help us grow, only thing is, there's a policy. We're buying vehicles. We're buying about 1,000 vehicles. Let's give Kantanka just 300 of those vehicles. And also the rest can go to our other partners because of certain maybe grants or gifts they give to government, or they help in whatever election or campaigning process that they do. I don't care about that. But at least a certain number should be given to Kantanka. That is the only way that we can grow.
But if the company is looking to expand and go beyond the borders of Ghana, wouldn't trying to take the company public so people can buy shares and
the shares,
bring in a bit more money?
The shares bit is something that I foresee that would be possible one day in the future.
Okay.
But the thing is, it has to be properly explained to the founder of the company and the chairman. As I said, look at my father and myself. We were born in different eras. My father was born probably way before it was the 80s or even the 70s. You understand? Way before, in the early 1940s or so, because he's pretty old.
Okay.
But he's, the only thing about my father is he's really smart.
Yes.
So the brain, the mind is still as sharp as he used to be when he was 40 years. But one thing I've learned in life is, as you grow, your brain can be sharp, but there's no drive. There's nothing that is pushing you. What pushes you and I will not push our fathers. Do you understand? What you want to do, when you sit down and you look at things, hey, I wish I can do this. I wish I can replicate this I saw in London. I wish I can do this. We have all these politicians traveling all over the country. What do? They see, things, they get to places where you and I cannot even go to. And how do they bring that back home? So, once that is established and there are clear lines of equity, shareholding, directorship in the company registration or whatever it is, the next step will be, okay, let's go public. We are releasing about 40% shares of the company. 60 still remains with the family. So 40% where people can come in with money and invest in the company. That is a foreseeable future of Kantanka.
That what you just said is It's quite profound because a lot of the YouTube people were asking me this question. They were asking that question, and I was like, yeah, that company needs to go public. Right now, you should have done your IPO. Like, some of us, it is the future, right? Especially now that you're going into electric. I'm just thinking to myself, ooh, this is the best time.
You know, one thing you should also remember is the case of Henry Ford. When he started Ford Company, he was doing marvelous. He was doing really well, but he needed money. The moment the money came with certain
Terms and conditions.
He is a visionary. You understand what I'm saying? He knows what he wants to do. I mean, if you have a sit down with my father, you get to know how it feels like speaking to a genius.
I'd love that. Wow.
You get to know that. And one of the things you get to learn from him is, you know, imagine speaking with Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
He has the design and nothing is going to change the design. All he will do is to find people that can understand, interpret that design into real life. So one thing that we're being careful is everyone that comes into Kantanka is coming as a businessman, also has things that he would want. There'll be a lot of terms and conditions. And we wish the car can change to this. We wish to do this. We wish there's a reason for the name Kantanka.
If I understand you properly, then I think what you're trying to say is that the visionary carries the vision.
Yeah.
And for that reason, chairman is not willing to really deviate from the vision as much.
Yes.
So if you're coming in with your money, no matter how much, you can't control the vision.
No.
And he's not going to allow that.
No.
For that reason, at the moment, it can be a stumbling block to
So at the moment,
some
this
of
is
the growth
what
of the business.
we can do. I mean, you call me up. Kwadwo, I have about $2 million. I want to invest in your company. I'll tell you, listen. So would accept your investment, but this is how it's going to be. It will be in a form of, how do you call it? We'll buy the SKD, which is the completely knocked down, the parts. So let's say the whole parts is going for $5,000. And we've been able to break your money down. So you're buying $5,000, but that $5,000 that you are investing can fetch you about $35,000. That means you're going to make a profit. Let's say the $35,000 being sold. I mean, there's going to be production costs that will be taken out of it. Certain expenses that will be also subtracted out of it. Now, you make nothing less than $28,000 or let's say $25,000 aside your $5,000.
Is that how you're running an investment at the moment?
That is the only way we can allow any kind of investment in.
No equity. Nothing goes away. Wow. Tough. That's
So I mean, you've invested 5,000, but you've made 25 back.
So at the moment, with anybody that's got a lot of cash that's passionate about,
or you can invest in parts, or you can invest in a showroom or a distributor. You can tell us, okay, I want to buy 100 Kantanka cars. What deal are you willing to give me? Okay, it's going for $40,000. We'll give it to you for, let's say, $30,000. Do you understand? Or we'll give it to you for 35. However you want to sell it out there is up to you. That means that in a few years to come, we would only have to focus and concentrate on producing, manufacturing, and we will let selling and after sales goes to, any other person that wants to invest in that.
I'm going to throw this one in there to try to twist the convo. This was a question somebody put on YouTube. I don't know how true it is. I was not able to verify it. But apparently, Wadamaya contacted you guys for an interview, and it never happened.
I have no idea about it. Trust me. One time I was being interviewed on TV3 regarding this guys that drove from Ghana to London.
Yep.
And part of the explanation, I think Bellamundi or someone asked me the same question. And I told them that I admire him so much. Like, I admire him so much for what he's doing.
Yeah.
So much. His freestyle, I love his energy. Very natural. Nothing fake or anything. I don't know, but I'm just saying what I know, what I see. And the next minute I heard people saying when Maya came, but I verified, went back into security logs, and I saw that he paid a visit to the plant once.
Okay.
Yes. But the officer that was on duty is no more with us. So I could not verify into details what really happened. Was there any kind of misunderstanding or I have no idea. I have no idea.
So I tried to send a message to my brother to ask him whether he actually did. Because I wanted to verify.
Okay.
But he's been busy in Botswana at the moment. So I couldn't get it. Because before I would ask the question, I wanted to make sure that, it was credible and, it's not somebody just typing it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's step it back again. Now, there are conversations around the brand itself and how people think that it is not ready for the international market. People think that the brand is too localized. It's too Ghanaianized, if I may use that word.
Yeah.
You mentioned, and I mean, you were born in our time. So your level of understanding of branding is very much different to Chairman. Have you got any plans of improving it? Or what do you think of that? Do you think that it's too local for us?
Kia means?
No.
I ask this question and I always ask it. So someone asked me, why Kantanka? Why the star? What people need to understand is, as a businessman, as a manufacturer, there's always a plan that we have in place.
Okay.
We don't just get up and do things. People have that thing, and it really it annoys me at times.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's part of the journey. So Kia, I mentioned Kia because I realized that Kia means, the IA, it means out of. The K stands for Korea.
Okay. To represent where it's coming from.
Do you know what Mr. Bushi means?
No.
Probably they're insulting us.
Yeah.
You know what Toyota means?
Nah.
If you look at a car like Benz, it's someone's name, Carl Benz. And now, the Mercedes means mercy on me. Mercedes Benz. Mercedes Benz. Mercedes Benz means mercy be on me, Carl Benz, for being able to do this.
Okay.
We don't understand these things. Now, because it's called Kantanka, we hear names like VW Touareg.
Yep.
We hear names like Mercedes G-Wagon. We hear names like Toyota, Corolla, Camry, and all that. All these names, where do they come from? So, Kantanka, if you look at the star, it's a shining star with a black background. So it means the Kantanka star is coming from the black.
Okay. Star of Africa.
Yes. So there's a black background, and the star comes out of it. So that's shining star from the black race. That is what the star and the Kantanka means. Now, the Kantanka is an appellation of the Safo name.
Okay.
Yes. And the meaning of the Kantanka, more like a warrior, a kufuor, someone who has been able to do something. And we've been able to do this. Now, the model names, the Omama, means, you understand Omama? Coming from, a patriot.
Yeah.
A proper patriot.
Yeah.
A proper citizen. The K71 means the date in which my father started everything The Onante 4 is, I mean, it's a 4x4, 4-runner. The 4-runner is not our language.
Yeah.
But we've accepted it. So we feel it started from somewhere. When Koreans started their vehicles, I remember people were like, the car phone win. I mean, when they did the Hyundai Stella, it drives, I mean, for about 2 kilometers in the parks or it stops. The doors can't even come out. So we had to find the proper way, the proper solution to solve this problem. And I felt taking the brand to the people was one of the best answers to do that. So we embarked on a nationwide tour about 9 years ago. And we gave people the opportunity to drive the car, experience it, feel it, give their comments on it. I mean, normal citizens, celebrities, people who are in the tech world, people who are in the automobile industry. I even went as far to even give an opportunity to one guy that drove a BMW from France all the way to Ghana.
Okay.
During those times, one Donko guy. So we did things for it to get to where it is now. Do you understand what I'm saying?
There's been times, I've been in and out of Ghana since 2013. And whenever I come back, there's a new type of taxi cars, like, those really small cars.
Yeah.
In the past, it was Tico, they used to call it.
Now there's this one from, I think, Suzuki.
Real,
the Vitz.
Yeah. I understand that your brand wants to differentiate itself. And it's very important. Brand differentiation is very important. But do you also think that the average Ghanaian wants to be able to say that I own a Kantanka car?
Yeah.
And that the markets such as the small taxis and the affordable cars would be a good way to penetrate the market. I know you're not looking for market penetration right now because of the supply and demand things we discussed. But what's your take on that? These young boys that want to do Uber and things.
How many of those boys get money to buy a car? Look, to be very honest.
No, but we see the cars.
How many of the boys did they talk get money to buy the car?
But we are seeing the cars. Where are they getting the money from?
Now, let me tell you something. So when we started, people were like, "Oh, I'm on your cars and get 20 billion to be." So I told them, "Now listen, there's this Amonima that we did.
Okay,
the starting price was 45,000 Ghana cedis. Really affordable. They are talking about. They are telling me and you that affordable of 5,000, 2,000 cedis.
Nah, we can't do that.
Now you can grab what I say. If I sell a car to you for 10,000 cedis or for 15,000 cedis and you drive it, you should be scared.
Yeah. Yes.
You should be scared because what is the exchange rate now? Even if you're buying plates, sheet to, mold the vehicle, the body of the vehicle, how much does the sheet cost? Yeah. The aluminum plate, how much does it cost? Let alone using the proper ones, not 0.5 or, from 0.5 to 1 millimeter going up. Take the plates out. Let's go to the engine. How much is an engine? Motor engine, guys. How much does the motorcycle engine cost now? Talk of the seats.
Right.
Your safety.
Electric cars and
your safety and all that. Looking at your safety, that is where the cost is.
So you actually have a car for 45,000 cedis?
Yes, we did.
You did? Right.
We still do.
No, right now, what's the price? What's the current
I think
price
with the current rate, it will definitely get to probably 55, 60.
Yeah, but that's still...
Which is still affordable for a brand new vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, the mistake people do is they compare a used imported vehicle to a brand new Kantanka vehicle.
That's really bad.
No, that is the problem that we have now. That is what people do. So someone doesn't know the real or the brand new price of a Vitz, Toyota Vitz, but the used price of a Toyota Vitz is what the person compares
a brand new Kantanka.
A brand new Kantanka. Oh, popoti we grab a blue chroma cry new boys.
But why do you think people are doing that? Why are they comparing?
Probably it's not something that they've really come to terms with.
Do you think people have accepted that the vehicles made from Kantanka are authentic, they've passed the test, they've passed the time. You know what I mean? Do you think people
So
have
the
accepted
class
that mentally?
that we're selling cars to now, they have.
Okay.
Now, the class that we have to break into is the top and the bottom.
Right. So you are right in the middle.
We're right in the middle. So we've got cars that are usable. I mean, they are of importance to government agencies, mining companies, manufacturing companies, construction companies, and day-to-day work.
Right.
And even with the Kantanka vehicles, if you look at the Obrimpol, for instance, it's a pickup that is being designed for all purpose. You can use it for your private vehicle. It looks like the, what do you call the car? The Ram.
Dodge Ram.
The Dodge Ram.
Yeah, I love Dodge Ram. Huge.
Yeah.
I
The inclusion of the avatar was to break into the top class market.
okay.
Because, I mean, driving an avatar is equally to driving a Rolls Royce.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to make any comparisons, mentioning any name, but with the current Avatar EV, I mean, there's none. I drive cars, I own cars. There's none or no EV vehicle that can be compared to the Avatar now.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, if you charge it, fully charge it, it drives about 700 kilometers before you charge again.
700 kilometers.
700 kilometers.
So I think a full charge.
Other one, I wouldn't mention name.
Yeah, I don't
It's
want
about 524.
Yeah. Okay.
And in terms of speed, from 0 to 60, it's about 3.9 or 3.8.
And have you realized that people are comparing that car to the other competitor a lot? Have you seen?
Yeah.
You posted it. I love the car.
Yeah.
And then I saw the comments and people are comparing it to one of the competitors.
Yeah.
You've seen that a lot.
Yeah, I've seen it. And the next step is I'm going to get guys like you, top guys for people know, to do reviews about the car.
Yeah. But do you see what people see? Or do you think, nah, this is just people trying to bash us again?
No, I do.
Okay.
I do. Because I accept critical assessments of the vehicle.
Okay.
Do you understand? At times, I would probably get someone that I know that this person is well outspoken and tell him, look, what do you think about this car? If you didn't know me and you were giving your honest opinion to someone, what would you say? And I mean, I drive the car, so I get to know the day-to-day, setbacks or little faults that are on it. And we list them down. So when you bring it, we probably know what you're bringing.
So it makes me want to ask this question, which is, doesn't the product go to the design phase?
It does.
Don't you pick and choose which private label or white label things you want to import?
You do.
To say, okay, this looks too much like a competitor, especially, let's say, interior or certain aspect of the product.
Yeah, but with automobile, if you think about that, you don't produce any car.
Okay.
Look at the Ford.
Okay.
What's it called? The Ford Explorer.
Yep, have I sat in one of those?
And compare it to the Santa Fe, Hyundai Santa Fe. It's almost the same thing. The Koreans have done this car. It's called the GV90. It looks the same as the Bentley Bentayga.
Okay.
The same. I mean, now, you know why that exists? So there are OEMs.
Yep.
They're manufacturers. Now, these people produce parts and car companies buy from those parts. So now nobody is doing much of
let's create our own
inventions.
Right.
We're doing more of innovations. So I own this. What makes me own this phone? Probably I'll just add a few designs to the back and the front with the camera, and it becomes mine. It no more belongs to where or who I purchased it from.
I understand that.
You understand? So with the current, trend of what cars are, it's not every car company that owns a molding plant, which is about 35 to 40 million euros.
Yeah, you mentioned it the other time.
So just imagine that. You definitely have to go. And now, Pick a company like Denso. Denso does AC motors and other electrical stuff for vehicles. You find it in more than 1,000 cars.
Okay.
Different brands. Look at a car like BMW.
Yep.
The company is currently owned. That's the company that owns Rolls-Royce now.
Yep.
So the new Rolls-Royce and the new BM 7 Series has really similar parts in it and features.
Okay. I understand it from the business point of view and production point of view as well. Except that the only thing is that, if to someone, right, a Kantanka and a BMW, even though they may have the same level of quality, the brand has not been there long enough.
So how long? I'll go back to examples. Korea, when they started making vehicles, they tried breaking into the American market. It didn't work out. So they went through Canada. It worked in Canada, and Americans accepted it. It is so with every new tech. It is so with every. I don't know if you are an iPhone or.
Oh yeah, I am. I love my.
iPhone lover.
Guys. Yeah.
Good. Would you switch from iPhone to Infinix?
Nah.
Would you switch from iPhone to let's say Huawei?
No.
But Huawei is doing really amazing stuff with phones now.
I'm sold.
That's the thing. Now, you will be surprised that you meet a seller or a marketer from Huawei that will be able to convince you. So now that's what you're going to do. You're not going to stop using your phone, but you add up.
Right. Just to get a feel of it, to see whether that can replace this one in the future.
These cars are all household names.
Okay.
I don't think we are even 15 years into the game. But where we've started and where we are now, no car company in the world had what we have.
At the starting point.
Yeah.
It's true. Maybe, and then also that could also be because you came in at the right time where tech was more advanced. It meant that you can assemble a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Nice. That's brilliant. With your EV, which I love that car. I don't know, man. There's something about that car I really like.
It's amazing.
I would love to come and just have a look at the car.
It's a self-drive, self-park.
And then see how it's like.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity, charging systems. If somebody owns one of those cars today, how are they going to be able to charge it on long drive? Make sure they are secured. People cannot hack into the car. What measures have you guys put in place?
So with the Avatar, it comes with the charger.
Okay.
Your own charger that you can mount when installing your house. If you charge it fully at 100%, it drives for about 700 kilometers before it needs any kind of recharge. Now, the security systems in that vehicle, there are no door handles till the car is unlocked.
Okay.
It doesn't use a key, it uses a card.
Okay.
So once the car is on and you're not the one driving, there's an app on your phone that you can use. Wherever the car is, you can stop it.
Okay.
Yeah. There are a lot of security features about like this SOS button in the car where you can.
Does your company have a security monitoring system?
We do.
For the cars?
We have a security company as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And if something was to go wrong, because one of your competitors that I've used a few times, it has cameras that when even you, the driver, is trying to access the car and you're not able to within about 3 or 4 seconds, those cameras,
locks up.
It locks up and then the cameras start, videoing whoever it is, send information out and things.
That's the same one with this.
Okay.
That's the same thing with this.
Okay.
There are cameras everywhere, especially because of the self-drive bit of it. So there are cameras everywhere. You cannot, it's impossible to steal the car.
Now let's talk about the struggles of running an empire like this. Now, I want you to just tell me what are some of the challenges that you have faced taking over.
Internal.
Okay.
Internal. I mean, I'm not going to go deep into it, but I'm sure probably everyone sees themselves as competent to do something, and you get picked out of the Lord. So, I mean, there are still going to be people that will have issues with it. You have your own ways of doing things. Someone has stuck to a particular way of doing something for, let's say, 45 years to 48 years. You come in one day and you feel that, okay, two things. Either we do this the hard way or we go really hard. And my level of ambition, my level of passion when I'm doing something, it's crazy. When I'm in my element where I'm working, I feel like a blind person. I see nothing apart from what I want to do. And before I get to that point, I do a lot of consultation. I do a lot of doubting. I do a lot of questions. I speak to myself a lot. I speak to people that I know have certain expertise more than me. I will not accept in front of you, but I know this person knows this better than I do. So before I get to that point, means I have acquired all the necessary information, all the ins and outs, all the ups and downs that I can, that every kind of obstacle that I will face in that quest. So when I get there and you try to tell me no, we will get issue. And I mean, I understand that I have changed a lot. So those changes comes with, I mean, consequences.
Nana, do you think there's a lot of sibling rivalry in the family?
With us, my father is the supremo. We all give reverence, respect, and love to him. Nobody wants to do anything to hurt him. But as human beings, yes.
But then the issue then is that if he's not here with us, then will it get worse?
So as I was saying, you remember when we started the conversation, I mentioned that the only way for African empires or empires in general to grow is once the person that has the vision is getting old, he needs to appoint somebody else whilst he is still strong and alive to control things with his guidance. I mean, we are both young. There'll be different ways that we'll do things. In doing such, we'll make certain mistakes.
Yes.
Black Sheriff made this thing. Who never fuck up, raise your hands in it. You understand?
Yeah.
So, I mean, as young people, we will definitely go through a lot of challenges, but we learn from it. Once you have someone to guide you, those challenges, those mistakes are limited.
Okay.
You understand?
While you're looking up to Chairman,
Yes.
do you recognize the lifestyle that he has as well? The lifestyle he's always had. And you see him as a huge role model, which is beautiful. But would you say that you have not exactly walked into his lifestyle and you've made a lifestyle of yourself?
Let's explain the lifestyle.
I didn't want to.
You explain it.
I didn't want to.
You explain.
I didn't want to explain it.
No. As I said, I mean, we both have the same vision.
Yeah.
But we're both different, born in different eras.
Yes.
You understand? People expect my father loves Yabwatma.
Yes.
Or A.B. Crenshaw.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music will sound soothing to my ears.
Yeah.
But I love Sarkodie.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, breaking it really down would be, you probably own more than 40 cars.
I'm coming there.
And that's
I'm coming there.
Okay.
I am nothing but a refined version of my father.
Okay.
Yes. If you come to my house, everything you see in my house, my father doesn't know, but the people close to me know. I look at him. I admire him.
Okay.
So I have picked up what he is and I've just made it molding into whatever the current world would accept.
Do you think he see himself in you?
I swear he does. But as I said,
have you had the conversation?
My father is one person that would never, it will not come out of his mouth. The first day he looked at me and said, I'm proud of you. I was like, hey.
Okay. Who is that? Who are we talking about?
Why Nakatana? You? I cried.
See.
I cried. I mean, you will not get that from him. How do you compare? Imagine me going for rounds, looking at all the companies and how things are going. And I came back and I was like, I'm so tired. I started from 4 a.m. and it's almost 1 a.m. I'm tired. And then it's like, but you are in a car with AC. You've got security. You've got cooks around you. I used to walk from Caprice all the way to Winneba. How do you compare with that?
The struggles are different.
Do you understand? Yeah. I mean, this is someone, I always call him that he's a rose that grew from concrete. It's impossible for rose to grow out of concrete, but he's done it.
Yeah, so there's another young man who calls himself, his name is Kwadwo Safo as well. And I think he owns a company called Bastard Boys.
Oh.
And then there's another young man I saw on LinkedIn who champions the Kantanka herbal and pharmaceutical sector. He's also Kwadwo Safo. What's really happening? Is it that Papa grooms you, the children or the grandchildren, and say, what do you want to do? And then you get that done, and then it becomes part of the family business, or is it all separate?
So the names you mentioned are not part of my siblings.
Okay.
They are all church members.
Okay.
Now, Asante Maimu, Uba Obra, now Buniya, you're too bedin.
Right.
Do you understand? If you live your life well, people name their kids after you. So there are more than 1,000 people that are called Kwadwo Safo. But I am the Kwadwo Safo.
Right.
Do you understand? That's the only difference. Now, these people are all people that have been able to pick an aspect of my father's ingenuity and built a career out of it for themselves. Look at Bastard Boys, for instance. They are doing an amazing job. And if they get the kind of support that they need, I mean, the sky is going to be the limit for them. The same with these other guys you're talking about. My father has so much. I mean, the house I live in, my house, I live in with more than 20 guys. And every time I look at you, medicine, I'll pay for it. As I said, building value. I mean, we are a new kingdom, we're a new empire, and we want to get somewhere. And in doing so,
right.
I have to build what I have.
Yes.
And make sure, expand that territory.
Yes.
And own it for ourselves.
When somebody walks into your house and see all those cars, and then I see you in London, maybe you're in Harrods, shopping at Cartier, doing all those beautiful things that you love to do. The first question they will ask is, this guy is that a B?
Oh, of course.
Right? That's the first thing they'll probably say. And then the next thing will be, how did he make his money? Is it through the family business, or he had his own money before walking into the family business? And that's my question.
So let me ask you a question. You are born.
Yes.
You go to school.
Yeah.
Let's be very realistic here. You are born. You go to school. You complete school. During your school days, I mean, Ghana, it's not like the UK or London where you school and you still work. You don't have such things here much. I mean, it might probably be here, but
That's true.
Do you understand?
That's true.
Now, good. Imagine going through a typical Ghanaian system. Up till SS, your parents are taking care of you. You're paying your own school fees. I mean, they're paying your school fees. Apart from the other side where there are people that I know that I went to school with, I don't want to hear you could your own school fees.
Yeah.
They go and weed, they go and sell banching and cassava and all those things, and they come and pay your fees. Now, looking at where I am coming from, you have your parents doing all that for you. you get allowances. Allowance is something that you get, That's not what buys Range Rovers and G-Wagons.
Okay.
Yeah? Good. So right after school, that was when I started working with my father. But before that, because of who my father is, you get people coming up to you and giving you some kind of handing you gifts. So it was after school and working in the family business directly under my father with all the things that he does for me and the opportunities. Now, it's not this, I don't necessarily need money from him, but he's giving me money. The money he's giving me is the opportunity that his name has been able to create for me.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
I'll go to any company. Hey, I need this contract. I want to do this contract. Is there a way that you can give it to me? Yeah, I mean, we'll give it to you. We know you. You're not going to run away with the money. Then someone hands you $1 million contract, £1 million contract. And that is how come I've been able to get to where I am. I mean, I've ridden and been in the old man's path that he has created. And that's what I'm enjoying. And now I'm trying to create another path where my son can be able to enjoy that of his grandfather's and mine as well.
Beautiful. What's the one thing you did that you regret so much? Maybe the youth can take some lessons from that.
Anybody that knows me, watching me now, knows there are about 1 billion things going on in my head. So I don't have regret. The reason is, if I feel regret, I feel pain. If I feel pain, it clouds my judgment. If it clouds my judgment, I'm not able to be progressive. If I'm not able to be progressive, I'm of no use to whatever cause that we are championing. So this is what I do. I tell myself that initially, when I got hit by a car door recently, and when it happened, I was like, hey, so can this also happen to me? I'm trying to make a point. The first time that I was attacked by armed robbers, I was like, hey, so it means I'm part of the people that these things happen to. That was when I realized that, listen, the real world just gave me a call.
Wow.
I mean, I wake up in the morning and I have responsibilities that I have to do. Someone sits down to plan evil about me, and I ask myself, what did I do to this person? One thing that has kept me going is, no matter how hard the punch was, how hard the hit was, I mean, how deep I fell or I fall, once I have life, my father told me something that a failure is the one who has quit. But once you keep going, you're a fighter. And in all my life, I've always fought to where I am now. I mean, I could have easily said to myself that my father is rich. I'll be okay to even take care of my family with any kind of allowances that he gives me. But is that what I want? When he's no more there. I mean, imagine being paid 1,000 cedis 10 years ago. And imagine being paid 1,000 cedis today. What is it going to do to you? I mean, if you convert 1,000 cedis even into pounds, it's a shame.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. I mean, £100 now is even 2,000 plus.
Yeah.
So imagine 1,000 cedis. And the moment you realize that you are not doing enough, it's when whatever that you're getting, you divide it by the current exchange rate. I mean, if I'll tell the youth anything, it will be a harsh truth. Don't get yourself involved in love when you're starting life. Because as I keep on saying, you are coming from a minus zone, a negative zone. Your parents don't have it, but you want to make it. So you don't add up so much baggage. You don't add up so much things that will take from you. You bring things that will rather add up to whatever that you are. But if you keep on doing things that would always be taking things away from you, how are you going to make it in life? Because it becomes a habit. Stopping it goes close to impossible.
That was a big sigh. And I was trying to control the sigh. But I've enjoyed every bit of this conversation. And I'm even thinking of what I want to say. If you've stayed with us from the beginning until now, you're a champion. And you definitely want to change your life. Mindset is the biggest thing that people need to keep changing all the time. Let's not stay in a box. And like I said in some of my videos, if that box is not making you happy, why are you in the box? Break free. Today, I've just sat in an hour and a half conversation. And I'm so gone. In fact, I need a time for myself, man. Subscribe and become part of the family. My name is Derek Abaite. And go and check the other episodes that we have. If you haven't left a review for me, please do. I want to know how this is going so far. And I want to have bigger guests and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, I said this before and people didn't agree, but that's the truth. You know, you want to grow. And today I've seen growth in my studio. Thank you so much for being who you are and for trying to change your life.